Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of May 25th through the 31st. And during that time, we have a new moon that's coming in on the 27th. And of course, that's a really good time for a fresh start, a new beginning. Good time to pick up a new skill or start new projects or make new decisions. So keep that in mind. We then move into the waxing crescent energy, that's the moon, just starting to gain more light. And that's a good time for heightened senses, a good time to just be able to focus and, work on those new things that you've just started. Time to, work, but also make adjustments and that sort of thing. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Scorpio. So, of course, please keep that in mind. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is the answers you need are coming. All right, let's see what the Scorpio collective has going on for the week. And Scorpio, I would like to say that since my readings are free to you, all that I ask in return is that you hit that subscribe button. It really does help my channel. And of course, it's super, super easy for you to do. So I will let you do that right now while I'm shuffling. Thank you so much. And if you've been a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and helping me build a community here. I really appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. All right, Scorpio, without further ado, we'll get right into this reading. So Scorpio, May 25th through 31st, the answers you need are coming. All right. All right, Scorpio, your overall present energy is the Empress card. So if the answer is about pregnancy, this seems to be a very positive answer for some of you. Of course, the Empress is kind of our creativity and pregnancy card, and it's about just kind of sitting in a really good creative place of creating anything, really. So pregnancy doesn't always mean physical pregnancy, although for some of you it will mean that. For some of you, it means just giving birth to a new thought, a new idea, a new project. Here we are at this new moon energy, so there might have been something on your mind that you've been thinking about, and that's what you're giving birth to. Kind of starting the seeds of something that may take a while to come to fruition. It may not be a project that you finish in a day or a week. It may be a project that's a little bit more long term. And think of like a diet. You say you're going to lose X amount of pounds and you're going to get that started this week, and it's going to take you a few months. It's not the kind of thing that's going to, happen within a week, but it's kind of a long-term creativity is what she's going to represent for you. Your current situation is the Two of Swords. So it looks like you're also sitting in a place of some sort of indecision. There's something on your mind that you're kind of weighing the pros and cons of, and that's okay. But you're doing it in some nice calm water. You're just kind of concentrating and focus on the either or, and that's okay. That's allowed. We all get in those situations sometimes. At the root of your situation is the Ace of Pentacles. So for some of you, this could be this is like a new financial opportunity that's coming in. So if this is at the root of this, you could be thinking, do I stay at this job or do I go to the new job? Do I go for this new opportunity? If maybe this is about leaving one career for another, and that's a big move. That's a big long-term creative project like the Empress would get involved in. It's also something where you maybe haven't decided yet, and it may be a really, really hard decision to make. So it's okay. Keep mulling that over. It's an opportunity that's there for you. You don't have to say yes to it. You don't have to say no. You can sit for as long as you need to take your time to make that decision. In your recent past, you've been feeling like you against the world here with the Seven of Wands. So it could be that you've been kind of having a little bit of a struggle or not happy in your current situation, and that you've maybe been asking the universe for this. I want this thing to come along. I'm ready for a change. And all of a sudden the change swoops in with some sort of offer or opportunity that comes up, and you're, now you're faced with it. Now you've got to really buckle down and decide, do I really want to do this? Do I want to take that step? I just get this really excited feeling just doing this reading, like it's exciting, but it's it's scary and it's nerve-wracking. So I get that part of it as well. Again, I'm going to go to your overall message card. The answers you need are coming. You may not have all the information yet, so just keep that in mind. What's on your mind this week is the Ace of Cups. So another ace. Look at you. So Ace of Cups is just something new that you love, and it could be this idea. You could be, just really lost in the fantasy of here's this new opportunity and here are all the things that I'm going to love about it. And you're just kind of lost in that thought about it. I would be too. So just imagine something new and great comes in for you, and you're thinking, oh, if I take this job, it's more pay, and that's a better house, and that's a better this, that's a better, in on the material realm, better things, and or it's in a better location, where you really want to be. So there's something that you do love about this idea, and that's what has you kind of in that indecision, is that maybe you want to make sure that you're doing the right possible logical thing also. What is just ahead of you is, wow, 10 of swords. So you're kind of done with something that may be, and an indicator of where this decision goes, so that's kind of an ending. That's definitely an ending, and it's an ending in the in the intellectual sense, in the thought sense, that you're done thinking about it. So you may get to a decision here. Let's get to your advice. Is the Hanged Man. So you're definitely, the advice is to look at the new perspective that this brings in, look at things from a different angle, that maybe you're looking at it one way, but you need to look at it from some other angle. The Hanged Man is looking at it from being tied upside down on a tree. I don't really suggest that you do that, but I do suggest that you just take a breath, within all of this indecision energy and the pros and cons, and try to think about it from different angles. And maybe, part of this would be, think about, where will you be in 5 years if you say yes to this? Where will you be in 10 years if you say yes to this? And then on the other hand, if you say no to it, where are you going to be in those same amounts of time? Look at it from that perspective. Look at it from your financial perspective. Look at it from your emotional perspective, from your family perspective. So look, there's a lot of different ways to approach a problem, or a situation like this, or a new opportunity. Lots of different ways to think about it and how it affects you in different ways. And just start that list making. I'm always saying, get out a piece of paper and just start writing it out. Sometimes it just makes more sense when it's in ink and sitting in front of you, right? What is beyond your control this week is this ending with the Death card. So I'm not surprised to see this card come up, because this was kind of in your future here, and it's beyond your control to have an ending. I don't see this as physical death. I do see it as an ending to something, and I think you've been asking for this. I don't feel like, back here with this You Against the World card, that you were just kind of in a situation that you're feeling like you just can't win, and all of a sudden this new opportunity comes up. So this may be the thing that you were literally manifesting, and here it is at your door, and you just have to make a decision about it. What is your secret desire? What you're trying to avoid is justice. So this is truth. Hopefully that is your secret desire and not what you're trying to avoid, but getting to this truth. This is about order and fairness, and what is right. This is about, dignity and grace. This is perfect order. And that's your big question. Are you trying to avoid the truth, or is that where you're really trying to get this week? That what is the actual truth of this entire situation, and how it affects you, and it'll help with your decision making. In your outcome position is the Temperance card. So here you are, being very balanced. And I think really just heeding the advice of looking at everything from a new perspective here. I want you to look at what is very interesting about this reading right now is that the four major arcana that have popped out here on this right side. This is a major life change. This is not just a little bump in the road for you this week. This is a major life change with all of these things to think about. The new perspective, the big ending of something, the truth of something, and maybe just living in your truth, which is your big question, and the outcome, which is, I look at her just I see the representation of two in both of these cards. both of them with their eyes closed. This one, 1 foot in this emotional water, 1 foot on land. This one, all that water behind her, and both of her feet firmly planted on land, but both of them with that two energy, that back and forth energy of, the temperance is kind of that balancing both of those worlds, the material and the emotional. Where this one is also kind of like that too, considering both of those, not really balancing, but considering that. So that's a lot to think about. It's a lot for you to think about this week. And that's really going to have to be your job, is accepting this ending, this new beginning, and how does it affect you? What is hidden from you this week is the Six of Cups. So hidden from you is maybe your feelings of your past. This card here can represent kind of nostalgia and kind of maybe, us in our childhood kind of thing. And this could just be, that's not what you're thinking about this week. You're really thinking about the adult version of you and what you've grown into. Um, and Scorpio, you guys can be rather secretive too. And here's also another thing. I don't see a whole lot of other people in this reading, and that could be that you're just not sharing this information. Maybe you don't want to share that information, but if the answers you need are coming, you may need to reach out and try to share this with a friend or a family member that you trust, just to kind of bounce things back and forth. Um, you guys tend to do things in secret and just kind of surprise everybody with the thing that you've done. And you may do that. That may be your choice to do that here as well. But if you do have, what is hidden for me, this could be some sort of like a childhood friend that maybe you do trust, and you're able to go to and say, hey, be objective here. This new thing has come in. What do you think about it? Or just kind of someone to hash that back and forth with. So that might be something that you do need to do. All right, let's get a final message here for Scorpio as they go through this pretty intense decision making. And this seems to be a pretty big life change for you, Scorpio. So, very interesting. Accept what is the first card here that comes out. All right, don't shuffle for that one. And raise your vibration. So, this seems to be that it is what it is. This offer that's coming in for you, it is what it is. You're just going to have to take the time to kind of just do all the pros and cons. And again, your big advice here is to look at this from all the different perspectives that you can. Take a new perspective on it. And if you need to reach out to that childhood friend, this could be, even a family member or a parent, somebody that you trust, that you're like, hey, I've got this decision in front of me, and help me see the path to the clarity on this. What are maybe some angles that you're not thinking of that this person is able to offer and help you out with. So, Scorpio, I wish you the best of luck with the situation. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below. Let me know what's come up for you. What new financial opportunity or new emotional opportunity, something that you love. What has come in for you this week that's so hard? And, what are those struggles that you're going through? If you're comfortable sharing, drop me a message down below and let me know. Also, again, if you like my reading style, please like and subscribe. I do readings every week, and that'll help you find me next week. So come back then. We'll see if this energy continues, or if there's something totally new here for you after maybe you've made this decision. So, Scorpio, good luck with this again. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.